Hello students, welcome for today's session on radio buttons. In the previous session, we had seen the input type text. So today's session, we will study the input type as the radio button. Radio buttons are closely related to checkbox. The difference between a group of radio buttons and a group of checkboxes is that only one radio button can be pressed at any time. Every time a radio button is pressed, the button in the group that was previously on is going to be turned off. Radio buttons are named after the mechanical push buttons on the radios of cars of the 1950s. The type value for radio buttons is radio. All radio buttons in a group must have the name attribute set in the input tag, and all the radio buttons in a group must have the same name value. The name what you give, that should be same. A radio button definition may specify which button is to be initially in the pressed or on state. This specification is indicated by including the checked attribute set to the value checked in the input tag of the button's definition. Now we will see one example on radio buttons. So the first thing what I do is I open the notepad. Starting with the root element as HTML, the head tag, give the title as radio, okay, and then I close the head tag, body tag, paragraph, okay, what I write is age category. The form tag, input type is equal to radio, name is equal to age, because we are trying to find out the age, value is equal to under 20, checked is equal to checked. This I will explain it to you when we are starting, okay. And then what is the age? What we want to do is turn radio button 0 to 90, that is under 20, okay. Coming to the next radio button, input type is equal to radio, C, name should remain same for a group of radio buttons, value is equal to, we have first started with 0 to 19. Okay, so now here I give the value as 20 to 35. Okay, and then we have to remember I am not going to set here checked is equals to checked, because this checked is nothing but initially this button is going to be selected, that is 0 to 19. Okay, so I write here 20 to 35. Fine, this is the radio button. Then input type is equal to radio, name should be same for a group of radio buttons, the name as this, value I give it as 36 to 50, 36 to 50, okay. Input type is equal to radio, name I set it as age, value I set it as over 50, okay, over 50. going to close the paragraph tag followed by the form tag, body tag, and then the HTML. Okay, so I have created 4 radio buttons. Age category, based on the age category, I want to find out the age category. I'm going to use the radio buttons. 4 I have created. The name of the group of radio buttons is age. Input type I have given it as radio. Value is under 20, 20 to 35, 36 to 50, over to 50, and this is what should be written afterwards. Okay, so now we will see. Just going to save output for this one. Save it as authorize. Save it as example2.html. Okay. Can you see this? I will zoom in. Okay, so this is the radio button based on age category. Okay, then how many radio buttons are there? 1, 2, 3, 4. We have specified over here first input radio button what we have created. I have written the value as under 20, and this is the actual value what is being displayed. What you write over here, that value is going to be displayed. Okay. Can you see here I have written checked is equal to checked. So this means initially this radio button is going to be active. That is why you can see a blue initial activation symbol. Okay. You can select any one. But when the page loads, initially this is going to be active. So 4 radio buttons I have created. 0 to 19, 20 to 35, 36 to 50, and over 50. Then select any one. I cannot select 2 at a time. Only one I can select at a time. Now, if I want 36 to 50, okay, to be selected initially, then what I am going to do is I am going to go to my notepad. Okay, here I am going to write checked is equal to checked, and I am going to remove it from here. So what was happening in the previous example, what we had written, 0 to 19 was selected first. Now you check, when I click on refresh F5, 36 to 50 is selected initially. Then I can select any one. Now if I want 20 to 35 as to be selected initially, then I am going to remove this and write it over here. Checked is equal to checked. Okay. See. I press on refresh, that is F5. You can see here I have initially selected 20 to 25 as the age. At a time I can select only one. 2 options I cannot select at any moment. Okay. So this was about radio buttons. So we have studied 2 input elements, the text and the radio button. In the next class we will study about the checkbox. Thank you, students.